Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, Dooley Health and Care Field, home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints. Terry Bonadonna with you here for a doubleheader between Lincon College and the hosts from St. Francis. USF won the opener of this three-game series yesterday in dominant fashion. 21-5 was the final score. Today they'll try to make it two in a row over the Lynx as we take a look at Lincoln's starting lineup. Getting set to lead things off is second baseman Brendan Eigenbrod. Batting second, third baseman Grant Stansberry. Josh Tarlin hits third and plays shortstop. Hitting cleanup, the catcher Lucas Harmon. Drake Davidson bats fifth in center field. Nate McAfee is the designated hitter. Batting seventh, first baseman Jarrett Rutledge. The number 8 hitter is right fielder Dominic Tenayuka, and batting ninth, left fielder Dylan Elders. First pitch of the ball game is swung on and fouled off to the left side out of play for strike one on Brendan Eigenbrod, and we're underway just past 1 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. A sunny day, but a cool one. The 0-1 pitch comes in, fouled back and out of play once again. It's 0-2 on Eigenbrod. St. Francis comes into today's action with an overall record of 20-21. So if things go their way today, they could leave here above 500 for the first time. Ball upstairs. The count moves to 1-2. Saints have been outstanding in conference play, 16-6 against CCAC opponents. That ball is floated out to left field, foul territory again near the Lincon dugout, and it drops out of the reach of Jonathan Wolf. The count remains 1-2 strikes. Eigenbrod putting up a fight in his first at-bat of the game. He's a .270 hitter. 5 RBIs on the season, 3 extra base hits. This is a team that bats .253 overall. They've got a couple of guys who can put the bat on the ball pretty effectively. Eigenbrod is one of them. He strikes out swinging here, though. A swing and a miss on the 1-2 offering from Ryan Daly. And there's 1 up, 1 down in the first inning. Good start for Daly, who picks up his 14th strikeout of the season. For Ryan Daly, this is start number 8 and appearance number 9 this year. He's 2-2 with a .428 ERA. In 33 2/3 innings coming in, he's allowed 18 runs, 16 of them earned on 36 hits with 7 walks. And you just heard he picked up his 14th strikeout of the season just moments ago. 1-0 on Grant Stansberry, the third baseman and number 2 hitter for Lincon. Stansberry swings through the next one and misses. It's 1-1. Grant Stansberry this year is a .197 hitter. A double, 9 RBIs to his stat sheet. The 1-1 pitch misses inside from Daly. And the count goes to 2-1 strike. This Lincon team comes in with just 1 win on the season in 25 attempts. They're 1-14 in conference, 1-24 overall. Fouled back, out of play, 2-2. Daly struck out the leadoff batter, Eigenbrod. And now he'll try to make it 2 in a row against Grant Stansberry with the shortstop Josh Tarlin waiting on deck. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him to chase one a little high, and it appeared to be perhaps a bit out of the strike zone, but Stansberry could not catch up with it. He could not lay off. 2 up, 2 down. Back-to-back Ks on the stat sheet for Ryan Daly. And now he'll face Josh Tarlin with a chance to get out of the inning. First pitch to the right-handed hitting Tarlin is lined right to the shortstop. Noah Carraro is there to make the catch. And the inning is over. We'll call that an effective inning for Ryan Daly. A couple of strikeouts and a first pitch liner to the shortstop. Lincon comes up empty in their half of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. St. Francis will bat and try to get on the scoreboard first. Lincon did not score in their half of the first inning. As we get ready for the bottom of the first, let's take a look at the St. Francis starting nine. Noah Carraro leads things off playing shortstop. Batting second, second baseman John McGuire. Eric Maffey, the hot-hitting first baseman, hits third. The cleanup hitter is catcher Jake Lasota. Scott Tumulty is the designated hitter. Luke Ketchum hits sixth in center. Sam Tumulty is in right field. Batting eighth is Jonathan Wolf. Wolf is the third baseman. And hitting ninth, left fielder Jake Vera. That starting nine faces right-hander Gage Cunningham of the Lynx. The Lincoln College right-hander ready for the first pitch. It's over the inside corner for strike one on Noah Carraro. Carraro comes into today's action hitting .287 for the season. 13 extra base hits, none of them homers. He's driven in 27. Senior shortstop fouls back the next one. The count goes to 0-2. Gage Cunningham is making his team-leading sixth start this season. It's his eighth appearance overall. He's 0-5 with an ERA of 10.02. In 20 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 35 runs, 23 of them earned on 27 hits, with 17 walks and 15 strikeouts, and he hits a batter to begin today's game. That's the ninth time he's hit somebody with a pitch today, and that's a frustrating one for Gage Cunningham. He had gotten Noah Carraro to an 0-2 count. He ends up putting him aboard, and the leadoff man reaches for the Fighting Saints. So runner on, nobody out for John McGuire. First pitch to McGuire is bunted, third base side. Grant Stansberry charges, gloves throws to first, and gets McGuire by half a step. Well played by Grant Stansberry. A successful bunt, though, for McGuire as Noah Carraro advances into scoring position with one out in the bottom of the first inning. And it'll bring up Eric Maffey.
First baseman, number 10, Eric Maffey.
Maffey's hitting .373. 2 homers, 25 RBIs. He's one of 5 players on this roster. Or I should say one of 5 players in this lineup. 5 regulars. We're hitting better than .400 so far in conference play. He doesn't need to hit to advance the runner here. The ball comes inside off the glove of catcher Lucas Harmon and ricochets to the backstop. That brings Noah Carraro around to third base with a 1-0 count on Eric Maffey. Pitcher and catcher not able to connect on that last one. Neither an obvious wild pitch nor passed ball. I mean, both guys, I think, deserve some of the blame there. The pitch was well away from the spot. It did hit the glove of Lucas Harmon, though. The 1-0 to Maffey. Misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Maffey is about as hot hitting as they come, but the guy on deck might be even hotter. I guess they're both as hot as they come. Jake Lasota will try to drive in the run if Maffey can't, but Maffey looks in good position to do so as he flies one out to right field. Catch is made by Dominic Tenayuka, but Carraro tags from third base and scores and puts the Saints on the board early. A sacrifice fly to right field. It's 1-0 St. Francis. Nice result right there for Eric Maffey. Didn't hit it particularly hard, but he did what he had to do, pushing it out to right field. Plenty deep enough to get the run in from third base. And Jake Lasota will bat with 2 outs and the base is empty. Not the worst possible conclusion of that sequence for Gage Cunningham either. Of course, he wanted to leave that runner at third base, but the next best thing is at least he did get 2 outs, and now he gets to pitch with the bases empty as Jake Lasota takes ball 1 inside. So after he hit the leadoff batter on an 0-2 pitch, Cunningham gets a chance to take a deep breath and reset his position on the mound, trying to get out of this first inning. He gets Lasota to foul one back here. It's 1-1. Jake Lasota is hitting an astounding .379 right now. 2 home runs, 38 RBIs. Those 38 runs batted in are a team high. And it seems like a rare case recently in which he's batted with nobody on base, but he assures the next man will hit with somebody on. Lasota is hit by the pitch, and he takes his base. Second batter already hit by a pitch today by Gage Cunningham. He's hit 2 of the first 4 and has now plunked 10 batters this year in just 21 innings pitched. An extremely high number. Walks plus hit by pitches for Gage Cunningham, now 27 in 21 innings pitched. So he'll put you on base if you let him. And he's a little bit wild on the first pitch to Tumulty, outside ball one. Scott Tumulty's a .296 hitter. He's starting his 27th game of the year. 3 homers, 15 runs batted in so far this year. The throw goes over to first base to chase John Peterson back to the bag. Peterson in his customary pinch runner for Lesotho role, and he's had a lot of time on the base paths considering how often Lesotho has been reaching. John Peterson has only started 11 games this year out of the team's 42, and yet he's out there seemingly as often as anybody. When you're the designated pinch runner for a guy with a .430 on base percentage, that'll happen. 2-0 on Scott Tumulty. Freshman outfielder who's DHing in this one. He takes a strike over the outside corner. 2-1. Sam Tumulty is a couple of batters away. It's been rare that the two of them have, well, not terribly rare, just not extremely common that the two of them have both been in the lineup in the same game, but that is the case here. Sandwiching Luke Ketchum, the home run leader who stands on deck. 2-1 on Scott Tumulty. The Saints already have a 1-0 lead, so this one's off to a better start than yesterday's was. Ground back to the pitcher, past Cunningham. It ricochets over to the shortstop, and no play for Josh Tarlin at first base. Not nearly in enough time to get Scott Tumulty, who reaches first and advances Peterson to second with 2 outs for Luke Ketchum. Tough play all around for Lincon. Gage Cunningham tried to pull it in as that ball went right up the middle, and it looked like he just barely tipped it as he tried to get his glove down. And he maybe slowed it down enough to keep it on the infield, but also slowed it down enough to ensure that Tarlin had to make the play flawlessly in order to have a chance to get the speedy Tumulty at first. Luke Ketchum is hit by the pitch. 3 of the first 6 batters have been hit by Gage Cunningham, and the bases are loaded. And that one barely grazed him. Ketchum will take his base without complaining. I'm not even sure that hit him. May have just skimmed by his jersey. It all counts the same. Here's Sam Tumulty. Tumulty takes ball 1 low. 1 run is in, and 3 more are on base right now with 2 outs in the first inning. And only 1 batter has hit the ball out of the infield to start this ball game for USF. That was Eric Matthew with the sacrifice fly to right. Sam Tumulty, a .300 hitter, pops it in the air, right side, foul ground in front of the St. Francis dugout and on the St. Francis dugout. Out of play, so no chance for Jarrett Rutledge. The at-bat continues with a 1-1 count. Couple of chances for Gage Cunningham to get out of this inning. With 2 outs and the bases empty, he hit Jake Lesotho. The Scott Tumulty grounder up the middle that I was just talking about, Cunningham tipped it over to the shortstop, Josh Tarlin. Tarlin kind of double clutched, and that may have cost him a chance to get the out. I'm not sure he would have had it otherwise, but that definitely cost him after that was over. There's a fly ball into left field. Dylan Elders chases it over. Elders makes the catch, and the inning is over. So 2 batters hit the ball to the outfield in the first inning. Both of them flew out. Somehow the Saints still managed 4 base runners and a run. They leave them loaded. As we head to the second, it's 1-0 St. Francis. Top of the second, Lincon went down 1-2-3 in the first. So they send their cleanup batter up to hit to lead off the second inning. Lucas Harmon flies it into deep center field. Long run back, Luke Ketchum, but he gets to the spot and makes the catch. And one pitch, one out in the top of the second inning. Good start to the second for Ryan Daly, who was about as good as he could be in the first inning. 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. In fact, he struck out each of the first 2 batters he faced. The last 2 hitters have both gone out on the first pitch. Those are typically the 2 best kind of outs you can get as a pitcher. A strikeout or a first pitch retirement. A bunt and a miss from Davidson for strike 1. The center fielder Drake Davidson bats with 1 out and nobody on base. He's a .224 hitter so far this season. Davidson has gone deep once. He's driven in 5. He pops it behind home plate and out of play. Strike 2. Davidson is one of 5 players for Lincon College this year to have hit a home run. They've hit 9 of them as a team, most from Josh Tarlin. He's hit more than half. Ball high 1 and 2. Tarlin's the guy who lined out to the shortstop in his first at bat today. Lincon College as a team scores just a shade over 4 runs per game. Strike 3 called, and there's strikeout number 3 from Ryan Daly. 2 quick outs. And it'll be up to Nate McAfee to keep the inning alive. McAfee is the designated hitter and getting a rare start, just his 6th in 26 games for the team this year. McAfee has got 5 hits and 15 at-bats. He swings through this first strike, 0-1. Tops on the batting average leaderboard for Lincon, although obviously not enough at-bats to qualify for that distinction legitimately. 1-1 on McAfee, who's 5 for 15 with a double, a run scored, 2 RBIs this year. And a fly ball here into shallow right field. McGuire backs up, but he's called off by Tumulty, who comes in and puts it away to end another quick inning. 1-2-3 for the second straight frame. Ryan Daly's off to a good start. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 St. Francis. Bottom 2, Gage Cunningham back to the mound. Didn't have a lot of time to rest between innings as his offense was retired on just 8 pitches in the top of the second. He'll try to bounce back after a rocky first inning in which he escaped, having allowed only 1 run. So he has not fallen out of the game despite his struggles. He'll go up against 8-9-1 here in the second. Jonathan Wolf set to lead things off. And the first pitch to the junior infielder, Wolf, is grounded through the hole on the left side of the infield, a base hit. Wolf shoots it just past the diving Josh Tarlin at shortstop. And for the second straight inning, the leadoff man reaches for the Fighting Saints. Wolf has become a very strong hitter of late for St. Francis. Came in with a .323 average. That's ticked up a few points. And Jake Vera will bat with a runner on and nobody out. Saints bunted in this exact spot in the first inning. We'll see if they decide to do the same thing with Vera. They do. He drags it to the first base side, picked up by Rutledge, who applies the tag. 3 unassisted on the sacrifice put out, 1 away, and a man in scoring position. So like McGuire before him, Vera does his job. And now it's back to the top of the order, and Noah Carraro, who scored the first run of the game. At this point, the only run of the game.
Noah Carraro.
1-0 St. Francis, thanks to the Eric Maffey sacrifice fly in the first inning. Carraro was the man who scored after he was hit by a pitch to lead off that first frame. First pitch to him here is up high for ball 1. Gage Cunningham has struggled to begin the ball game. He's allowed just 2 hits, both of them singles, and only one of them which reached the outfield. But 3 hit by pitches had him in a lot of trouble in the first. Carraro grounds it foul left side, 1-1. The Saints were 21-5 victors yesterday, their best all-around performance of the season in terms of final scores. But they got off to a better start today than they did yesterday. In that one at Lincon, they did not score in the first inning, so they're already a step ahead today. Ball low, count goes to 2-1. They scored 7 runs in the second inning in last afternoon's game. So that's when they really broke out. We'll see if they can do something like that today. The 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1. Entering today's game, Gage Cunningham had allowed 27 hits in 20 2/3 innings. Not a sensational number, but better than many of his teammates, and enough to get by on. The problem has been the walks and hit by pitches. And he does it again right here. Inside, he walks Noah Carraro. And there are 2 on with only 1 out. That's his first walk of the game, but it's the 4th time he's put a base runner on without making him swing the bat. 3 hit batters, now 1 walk, and John McGuire hits with 2 on and only 1 down. McGuire, a .364 hitter, has driven in 18 runs this year. And a chance to add to that total with a runner at second base. He grounds it to second. Scooped up by Brendan Eigenbrod, who throws to second for the Force. Back over to first base. That's in time. A double play. Well turned by the Lynx. 4-6-3. And the inning comes to a close. A walk, a hit, but no runs. Nice work by Gage Cunningham, pitching out of a jam for the second straight inning. We'll head to the third. It's still Saints 1, Lynx nothing. Top 3, moving right along for Ryan Daly. So far, he's faced 6 batters and retired them all. He faces the number 7 hitter Jarrett Rutledge and fires in strike 1. That's been one of the keys to Daly's early success. Lots of strikes. He's fanned 3 of the first 6 batters. Rutledge makes contact, but he grounds it right to McGuire. Second baseman tosses to first, 1 away. Jarrett Rutledge is 0 for 1, 7 straight retired by Daly. Here's Dominic Tenayuka, the right fielder, and number 8 batter. Sometimes a pitcher as well. Tenayuka is a 231 batter. Swing and a miss, strike one. He's got a homer, 7 RBIs this year, 3 extra base hits overall. He's 9 for 39 at the plate overall. He bloops this one into right and over the head of McGuire, down for a base hit. First hit of the game for the Lynx, first base runner of the game for the Lynx, and the tying run is aboard here in the third. Remember, in this doubleheader today, as in all of these conference doubleheaders, a 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning game, which means this one is not exactly late, but it's not exactly early either, being in the third. Ball up high off the glove of Jake Lasota. It rolls to the backstop, and Tenayuka advances to second base on that ball that got by Lasota. So something brewing here for Lincon. 1-0 on Elders with a runner in scoring position. Dylan Elders has 3 RBIs this season. He could add a fourth with a base hit here. 263 average. He foul tips it in and out of the glove of Lasota. That evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. First 7 batters were retired by Daly. Now he faces his first trouble of the game. The 1-1. Misses inside. 2 balls and a strike. As I was saying, third inning is not terribly late in the game. Lincon has still got a lot of outs to play with, but if they can tie the score here, it'll be a big momentum boost for them. Elders swings and misses, strike 2. Or if they could take the lead as well. Just because they only have 1 guy on base right now doesn't mean they're capped at 1 run for the inning. Elders is trying to start a rally here with a runner on. Lincon in the hits column for the first time. The 2-2 won't be made just yet. Daly instead looks back to second base, does not fire a pickoff attempt. Just trying to make sure the runner stays close. Elders, the number 9 hitter, left-handed, swings and misses, strike 3. 4th strikeout for Daly, and a big one right there. As it, at least for the moment, keeps a runner over at second base, 2 down. And it'll be up to Eigenbrod to try to get him in. Brendan Eigenbrod, a 270 batter, who is 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging when he began the ball game. First pitch to Eigenbrod, swung on and missed. Brendan Eigenbrod wearing the short sleeve purple jersey for the Lynx with no undershirt. One of the few in this game with the mostly bare arms. It is chilly out there. A pretty day with the sun shining. Popped up down the left field line towards foul ground, and it does land foul in the Lincon bullpen. Strike 2 on Eigenbrod, very nearly some big trouble for the Saints. It went foul by about 3 feet or so. Jake Vera gave it a long run. Vera never got close to it. Just not enough air under that ball from Eigenbrod. Almost gave his team the tie score. Instead, now he's down to his final strike. 0-2. Daly sets. Checks the runner at second. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed, and the inning is over. With a runner at second and only 1 out, Daly buckles in, and he records back-to-back strikeouts, 5 of them now for the game, and another scoreless inning on the board. We go to the bottom of the third inning. St. Francis 1, Lincon nothing. Ryan Daly's off to a great start today, but the offense has so far been mostly held in check by Gage Cunningham, who's pitched his way into some big jams in the first and second, but has mostly gotten out of them. He'll face Eric Maffey to lead off the third, and he pumps in strike one. Maffey's the only one with an RBI so far in today's game. His sacrifice fly to right field in the first inning gave the Fighting Saints a 1-0 lead. This time he bats with nobody on base leading off the frame, and he takes low, 1-1. Maffey picked up his 26th RBI of the season. That ranks 4th on the team. On 1-1, he checks his swing, takes down below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fighting Saints through 2 innings have had 6 base runners. In fact, 6 of 11 men have reached. Maffey pops it up foul to the right side, out of play, 2-2. So they've got better than a 500 on base percentage, and yet they're only up by 1 run. Long way to go in this game, which means, number one, they could add on more and more to this lead and forget about all those men left on base in the first couple of innings. Foul away, still 2-2. It also could mean that Lincon makes the comeback and makes them really rue all those guys they left on. Saints have stranded 4 through the first 2 innings. They've also hit into a double play. So 5 of their base runners have been prevented from scoring, including 3 of them in scoring position. But it's a new inning, 2-2 on Eric Maffey, and he's hit by the pitch. 4th guy to be plunked by a Gage Cunningham offering today. And Eric Maffey is the second one to have been hit with 2 strikes on him in the at-bat. Jake Lasota was hit by a pitch in his first time at bat. Now up for the second time with a man on first base and nobody out. Runner goes. First pitch to Lasota is a strike. The throw from Harmon is over the head of Brendan Eigenbrod, but Josh Tarlin is there to back up and not allow Maffey to take third base. Maffey does make it into second safely, though, on strike one to Jake Lasota. And again, there's a man in scoring position with nobody out here. Actually, this is the first time it's happened with nobody out. 0-1 on Lasota. Called strike 2. So Cunningham is ahead of a St. Francis hitter. Getting ahead has not necessarily been his problem. It's putting them away that has. Looking to retire Lasota here for a big first out in the bottom of the third inning. Ground ball to third base. That is foul, just foul. And a break for Lincon, because initially it looked like that ball was going to be gloved by Grant Stansberry. Stansberry missed it, though. Rolled underneath his glove and out to left field. And that would have been a big problem for Lincon had that ball been about half an inch to the right. Last time it bounced as it rolled down the third base line, it was inside the line, but apparently cut just in front of the bag into foul territory. That could not have been fouled by much. Still 0-2 on Jake Lasota. This time he takes one in the dirt. A good block by Lucas Harmon. And the count moves to 1-2. Maffey was hit by a pitch. He stole second base. It's 1-2 on Lasota. Swing and a miss, but it gets by Harmon to the backstop, and Lasota heads to first base without even a play. Now he heads for second base. Harmon throws it over to second. Lasota's safe. Maffey comes from third and scores. That might be the most disastrous strikeout for a pitcher in the history of baseball. He struck out Lasota, and the Saints end up with a runner at second base and a run in. Just a wild play there. 2-0 St. Francis leads. was a little bit sluggish to go after that ball. I think he knew immediately that there was no chance he was going to be able to get Lesotho at first. The pitch was so wild that he just couldn't get to it on time. Scott Tumulty comes up to bat for the second time. John Peterson, the runner at second. Tumulty takes ball one outside. And it turned out to be an ill-advised throw from Harmon. Once he took his time getting to the ball, there was no chance. Really good base running by Jake Lesotho. Just recognized that Harmon was not going after it hard as Tumulty takes the ball outside, 2-0. And so Lesotho was going to make it to second easily. Harmon should have just pocketed the ball at that point. As soon as it left his hand, there was no question that Naffy was going to score. 2-0. Liner up the middle, a base hit for Tumulty. John Peterson waved around third base. He's going to come in to score. Heading to second is Tumulty. The throw to second is in time to get him. So good defense from Lynx there after the hit, and the run scores. Goes 8-3-6 to cut down Tumulty, who has an RBI single and is also out number one, trying to get to second on that hit. I think he'll take the result of the play overall. The bases are empty now, and there is one out, but a run is in. 3-0 St. Francis. They have scored 2 runs on just one hit this inning, and that one hit resulted in an out as Luke Ketchum fouls back the first pitch. If that makes any sense. It must make sense because what happened. Tumulty's the only man with a hit in the inning, and he was thrown out on that same hit. One and one on Luke Ketchum. Ketchum was hit by a pitch in the first inning. No official at bat for him. Came in with a .341 average. 10 home runs, 33 RBIs. He bounces this one into the Lynx dugout. A foul ball and a strike, 1-2. So to recap the last 2 at bats, Jake Lesotho struck out, ended up bringing home a run and reaching second base. Scott Tumulty got a hit, and he's out and sitting in the dugout. 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Base is empty, 1 away, 2-2 on Ketchum. Sam Tumulty is in the on-deck circle. Fouled away, still 2-2. 3-0 St. Francis leads. Lincon had their big chance in the top half of this inning, down by just 1 run. They had a man at second base and only 1 out. They could have gotten that runner in from second. Could have changed the feeling of this game. Instead, he was stranded as Daly struck out the next 2 batters. And the Saints have jumped ahead and expanded their lead this inning as Ketchum takes the ball inside. Full count. Payoff pitch. A tapper off the end of the bat to the right side of the infield, and it trickles foul. Harmon picks it up in foul territory to make it official. Still 3-2 on Ketchum. He'll see an 8th pitch in this at-bat. First 3 batters of this inning all reached. One of them on a hit by a pitch, one of them on a drop third strike, and one of them on a single. 2 have scored. There is 1 out in the inning. Ketchum has made Gage Cunningham work in this at-bat. The longest at-bat of the game so far. He bounces it to the left side of the infield, picked up by the pitcher Cunningham, who sets his feet and fires to first for out number 2. Cunningham fields his position well. 2 outs in the inning. Base is still empty. Sam Tumulty is the hitter. By some measures, Cunningham has not pitched poorly today. 2 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 3 hits. And this one, I guess, isn't really a measure, but just an observation that none of the Saints have really hit the ball all that hard off of Cunningham, as Tumulty swings and misses for strike 1. Only a couple of guys have even hit it into the outfield so far. There's not been a ton of solid contact. Ball high, 1-1. But wildness has been a big problem. 4 hit batters and a walk through 2 2/3 innings. And even the strikeout, he has just the 1 strikeout. Even that kind of played into his wildness too, as Tumulty takes ball 2 to move ahead in the count. That 3rd strike to Lasota, he really expanded the strike zone, Lasota did. The ball was well outside. It ended up flying to the backstop and resulting in another couple of runs. 2-1. Ripped out to left field and past Grant Stansberry. Sam Tumulty is aboard. Big turnaround first base, but he stays put. A 2-out base runner for the Fighting Saints. There's a hard hit ball. I just said there haven't been a whole lot of them. That one certainly was. It was also a playable ball. Grant Stansberry olayed it. Didn't really have enough time to get in front of it, so he reached his glove to his left. Tried to pick it on the short hop and was not able to do so. He's not a first baseman by trade. So Sam Tumulty has the 2nd hit of the inning for St. Francis. Jonathan Wolf is the batter. Wolf grounds it to 3rd. Another chance for Stansberry. This time he comes in on it, makes an off-balance throw to 1st, and plays it absolutely perfectly. Nice play by Stansberry. The inning is over. The Saints score twice on 2 hits. They leave 1. On our way to the 4th. It's 3-0 in favor of the home team.
Leading off the 4th inning for Lincon, the 3rd baseman, number 4, Grant Stansberry.
Grant Stansberry made a nice defensive play to wrap up the bottom of the 3rd. Now he leads off the top of the 4th inning. His 2nd at bat against Ryan Daly, and he takes ball 1. Daly's been sensational so far. Through 3 innings, he's faced only 10 batters. He's given up 1 hit and has 5 strikeouts. This one hit in the air out to center field. Routine for Luke Ketchum. He takes a few steps to his right and puts it away. Stansberry is 0 for 2. 1 out in the 4th inning. That brings up Josh Tarlin, the slugging shortstop. 311 hitter, 5 homers, 21 RBIs coming in. Tarlin's been far and away the best hitter this season for Lincon. So far today, though, 0 for 1. So he takes the ball outside. Tarlin swung at the first pitch he saw in the 1st inning. He hit it on a solid line, but right at Noah Carraro, the shortstop, who put it away. This time he chases one up high. Strike 1. The count is even. 1 out, nobody on base. Daly trying to retire his 4th consecutive hitter, and he's 1 strike away as Tarlin takes a big cut and can't connect. 1-2. Lucas Harmon is on deck. Line shot into left field. Harmon will bat with a man on. Josh Tarlin has the 2nd hit of the game for the Lynx, so 1 out single here in the 4th inning. Tarlin is 1 for 2. And that will bring up the cleanup batter and catcher Harmon. Lucas Harmon is a .208 hitter with 8 runs knocked in this year. He's 0 for 1 in today's game. Flew out to center field leading off the 2nd inning. Trying to at very least advance the runner here as he takes ball 1 outside. Lincon, of course, was blown out in their last game. They've been blown out in their last couple. They're in a tough part of the schedule, having to face St. Xavier and then St. Francis this week. Ball high, 2-0. Both of those teams, Fighting Saints and the Cougars of St. Xavier, are in the running for a conference championship this year, both among the top 4 teams. Swing and a miss, actually foul tipped it back behind Jake Lasota. It's 2-1. So when you face those two teams back to back, especially when you're a team that has struggled as much as Lincon has, there are some expectations that it's going to be a long week, and it has been. There's a chopper to the right side of the infield, picked up by the pitcher Daly, who tosses over to first for out number 2. Tarlin advances to second base on the play. For the second time today, Lincon has a man in scoring position, but it comes with 2 outs, and it's up to Drake Davidson to try to get him in. Lincon lost most recently to St. Xavier 17-4, and then they lost yesterday to St. Francis 21-5. Spells out a pretty clear pattern on the pitching staff. Davidson takes high for ball 1. Davidson is 0 for 1, struck out looking his first time up. The one thing I wanted to point out about Lincon is that they have been scoring at least a little bit during that stretch. Upstairs again, 2-0. Yeah, their pitching has not been good this year. Their team ERA is 13.38. Their offense, while there's room for improvement, has not been terrible. Over 4 runs scored per game. Team batting average of better than .250. They can still make a run here. Bouncing ball to third base. Maybe not this inning as Jonathan Wolf fires to first and ends the inning. For the second straight frame, Lincon leaves a man at second base. Ryan Daly is not allowed to run through 4 innings. We head to the bottom of the frame at the halfway point of this game 1. It's 3-0 St. Francis. Jake Vera hits first here in the 4th inning. 9-1-2 due up for St. Francis. We'll try to extend a 3-0 lead. Jake Vera takes ball 1 inside. 1 run in the first for the Fighting Saints, 2 more in the 3rd. Vera does not have an official at bat today as he takes a strike over the outside corner. He dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd inning, his first at bat. No chance of that this time as he bats with nobody on base. Looking to reach against Cunningham for the first time. He takes ball 2. The Saints, who have been swinging the bats about as well as anybody in the conference for sure, if not the country. Just as a team over the last few weeks, they've been outstanding at the plate. They do not have an extra base hit today. Strike called 2-2. And despite their 3-run lead, they only have 4 hits through 3 innings. They've not been mashing it so far against Cunningham. Ball 3. But as I outlined last inning, they've had no shortage of base runners. 4 hit by pitches and a walk. Not to mention the drop third strike that allowed Jake Lasota to reach and eventually score. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gage Cunningham has his second strikeout of the game. And this time it results in an out for the first time. So one away, and the batter is Noah Carraro back to the top of the order. Carraro has not had to swing the bat yet today. He's reached base twice. Once on a walk, once on a hit by pitch. First pitch to the Saints shortstop is a called strike one. John McGuire's on deck. If anybody reaches this inning, Eric Maffey will hit as well. Third time through the batting order now against Cunningham. The 0-1 pitch misses low and inside. That evens the count, 1-1. First two times through the order, Cunningham has struggled to keep Saints off the bases. 10 of 18 men have reached in this game. Ball 2, 2-1. I was talking last inning about Lincoln's offense and the fact that they are capable of putting up some runs. Today's game so far has been much closer than yesterday's was. Cunningham's done a better job of slowing down the offense. Swing and a miss from Carraro. The count is 2-2. Saints have 4 innings remaining to build onto this runs total. So it will not necessarily remain a pitcher's duel, but the door is open right now. This is a big inning for Cunningham. Bounced foul, still 2-2. His offense has shown a few signs of improvement the last couple of innings against Daly. They've put a man at second base in back-to-back frames, even though they've not yet been able to push any runs across yet. 2-2. Check swing on a ball up high. They appeal down to first base, and Carraro did not swing. The count is full. 1 out, nobody on base. Cunningham so far in today's game has not retired back-to-back hitters since very early in the first inning. And he cannot retire Carraro here as he's hit by the pitch. Second time today that Noah Carraro has been hit by a pitch. It's the third time he's been put on base by Cunningham today. That one would have been ball 4 even if it hadn't clipped his elbow. So it was pick your poison there for Cunningham. It was either the second walk of the game or the 5th hit by pitch. He's now hit 13 batters this year. 5 of them today. Here's John McGuire looking to reach base for the first time. McGuire hits a hard grounder right at the third baseman Stansberry, who throws to second for 1. The relay is in time. And for the second time today, Cunningham gets out of an inning by forcing John McGuire into a double play. The Saints don't score in the 4th. We head to inning number 5. St. Francis 3, Lincon nothing. Top of the 5th. It's 3-0 St. Francis. Nate McAfee stands in to lead things off against Ryan Daly. He takes ball 1. So far, Daly's been on his game. He's allowed only 2 base runners through 4 innings. McAfee's not one of them. Nate McAfee is 0 for 1. Flew out to right field his first time up. He swings and misses here. The count goes to 1-1. McAfee is a sophomore. Does a little bit of everything on the field when he's out there for Lincon. Fouls it back 1-2. He is a catcher slash infielder, today DHing. And he's also listed on the roster as a pitcher. Has pitched in 3 games this year as he strikes out swinging for out number 1. The 4th inning was the first one today in which Daly did not strike anybody out, but he bounces back from that. I don't know if he needed a bounce back. He still pitched well in the 4th, but he adds to his strikeout total with 1 to lead off the 5th inning here. He faces Jarrett Rutledge. Ball outside, 1-0 on Rutledge. I was going to say McAfee is listed as a pitcher on the roster. He's only pitched an inning and 2/3 this year, but he can go if they need him to. Ball inside, 2-0. Jarrett Rutledge is a pitcher as well. He's pitched in 6 games this season, totaling 12 innings. He's got one of the best ERAs on the team. So he's been a go-to in relief this season for the Lynx. He takes ball 3 downstairs. This is the first time in the game that Daly has gone to 3 balls on any Lincon hitter. And he ends up walking him. Obviously the first walk of the game for Daly. Third base runner for Lincon. Then it's the 3rd straight inning. They've had somebody on with 1 out. We'll see if they can do anything with this one. Bottom of the order coming up. Not necessarily the best spot to have base runners, but Lincon now with just 8 more outs to play with wants to get a rally going as soon as possible. As Dominic Tenayuka bunts at the first pitch and pops it into the St. Francis dugout. Strike 1. Runner on first base, less than 2 outs here, but it looked like he was bunting for himself as opposed to for the base runner. He wanted to get a hit. This really is no time for a sacrifice anyway. 0-1. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. So Daly issues his first walk of the game, a 4-pitch deal to Jarrett Rutledge. Immediately comes back and gets ahead of Tenayuka, 0-2. Now trying to put him away. He misses up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dominic Tenayuka is 1 for 1. He had the first hit of the game for Lincon, a 1-out single on the first pitch he saw back in the top of the 3rd inning. That was after Daly had retired the first 7, and this time Daly gets his revenge. Tenayuka chases a high fastball for strike 3. 2 down. Second strikeout of the inning, 7th of the game for Daly. Here's Dylan Elders. Elders was a strikeout victim his first time up. He was the 4th. Again, Daly is now at 7. Strike 1 called. He walked Rutledge on 4 pitches and has missed the zone just once since then. He's pounding the strike zone early in the count as Elders lines it into right field. Tumulty takes a rough angle on it, ends up bouncing right past him and to the wall. So a base hit for Elders. Rutledge pulls up at 3rd base. It's a double. First extra base hit of the game for either team. And there are 2 in scoring position now for Lincon as they move back to the top of the order and bring the tying run to the plate. We've still got a ball game here. St. Francis has kind of felt in control of this one from the start just because they scored immediately. And they've had so many more base runners in this game than Lincon has, but one swing of the bat here, and we'd be tied up if it were a home run from Brendan Eigenbrod. He doesn't even need a homer. A little base hit would likely make this a 1-run game. And with that in mind, a meeting on the mound to try to settle down Ryan Daly, who had been cruising prior to that double to Elders for Dylan Elders. That is double number 4 this season. It's his 16th hit, 5th of which has gone for extra bases. And it puts Daly in a tough spot here in the top of the 5th inning. We are starting to get late now. Lincon down to their final 7 outs. And Brendan Eigenbrod will get his 3rd at bat of the game. Eigenbrod's not a bad hitter at all. 270 average, 378 on base percentage. This guy has been solid at the top of the batting order for Lincon this season. Can he come through right here with the big 2-out hit? in the clutch for Lincon. Eigenbrod has not had success against Daly so far today. He has struck out twice rather quickly both times. This time he makes contact on the first pitch. It's a one-hopper to short. Carraro up with it, throws to first, and gets Eigenbrod by half a step to end the inning. Close play at first base. Eigenbrod was hustling the entire way, but Daly gets out of a jam. For the third straight inning, Lincon leaves at least one in scoring position. This time they leave two in scoring range. We head to the bottom of the fifth. The Saints, after a close call in the top of the fifth inning, could use some insurance. They lead 3-0. Eric Maffey leads off the bottom of the fifth inning for St. Francis. Maffey has had a productive day without an official at bat. He's been up twice, has an RBI and a run scored. First pitch from Gage Cunningham in the bottom of the fifth inning, misses low for ball one. Maffey drove in a run on a sac fly in the first inning, and then leading off the third, he was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and eventually came around to score the second run of the game. Ball outside, 2-0. So he's been a direct part of two of the three St. Francis scores. Saints lead 3-0 in the bottom of the fifth. Lincon gave him a bit of a scare in the top of the inning. Maffey hits a chopper foul past third base. 2-1. A walk and a double for Lincon put runners at second and third base with two outs and one of their top hitters up. Brendan Eigenbrod had a chance to get that run in from third. Hit a pretty hard liner to the shortstop. Noah Carraro played it on one hop and was able to throw him out by half a step at first base in order to protect the lead. 3-1 on Maffey. Gage Cunningham is pitching well today. Again, Lincon has a 13.38 team ERA. Cunningham hits Eric Maffey for the second time. That's one aspect in which he has not pitched well. That's his sixth hit batter of the game. He had a lot of hit batters coming into today, and he's almost doubled that number. Lincon as a staff, and this is the sort of thing that leads to a 13-plus team ERA. They've hit 45 guys this season coming into today, so that's up to 51 now. Throw over to first base, runner back in safely. So 51 hit by pitches. St. Francis as a pitching staff has hit 35 batters this year. The Saints have played more than double the number of innings that the Lynx have. Runner goes on a pitch that's inside for a ball. Throw from Harmon bounces in, not in time to get Maffey. And Eric Maffey has his second steal of the game. So this inning so far has played out exactly the same as the third. Maffey hit by a pitch, steals second, and stands there with nobody out for Jake Lasota. 1-0 the count on Lasota, who, like Maffey, does not have a hit but has been on base a couple of times. Ball outside, 2-0. He was hit by a pitch back in the first inning, and then on a weird strikeout, he brought home a run and eventually got one of his own, or at least his pinch runner did. It was a drop third strike that he got all the way to second base on. Ball outside, 3-0. Just one walk so far in the game for Gage Cunningham, despite all the hit by pitches. He has not found himself in too many counts like this. 3-0 on Lesota, the slugging catcher for the Saints. Strike called. Lesota always seems to come up in moments like this with runners on base. 38 RBIs this year in just 33 games played. Trying to drive home another right here. Ball 4 in the dirt. Jake Lesota is aboard for the third time today. Second walk issued by Cunningham. We get yet another John Peterson appearance. Peterson scored a run as a pinch runner earlier today. He has started 11 games this year, but he has now scored 18 runs on the season. He's hitting just .244 in 45 at-bats. And again, he has scored 18 runs. The life of a designated pinch runner. 2 on with nobody out. Saints are trying to break this game wide open in the bottom of the 5th. Scott Tumulty bunts it back to the pitcher. Cunningham gloves it, throws to first. Not in time. So Scott Tumulty, trying to sacrifice himself to move up the base runners, ends up on base himself. A bunt single for Tumulty, his third hit of the ball game. He's got 3 of the team's 5. And that'll bring up Luke Ketchum. Kind of looked like Cunningham didn't quite realize how speedy Tumulty is. He took his time on that play. I think he could have rushed it a little bit more and gotten the out. But he thought it was a routine sacrifice, and it wasn't. Tumulty was running hard all the way down the line. Luke Ketchum takes ball 1 in the dirt. Second time today that the Saints have had the bases loaded. They did it in the first inning and ended up in that frame not getting any of those runs in. But that was with 2 outs. Cunningham this time is trying to pitch out of a bases loaded no-out jam. Ketchum swings and misses, 1-1. Luke Ketchum was hit by a pitch his first time up, like so many other Saints. He grounded out to the pitcher in the third inning, so officially 0 for 1 in the game. The count is 1-1. Nearly hit him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, it looked like it went right through him. Ketchum was nearly the 7th hit batter of the game. Instead, he's ahead in the count. Good chance to extend this St. Francis lead. He hits it hard on the ground and past a diving Stansberry into left. A base hit scores Maffey. Peterson comes in to score as well. A 2-run single for Luke Ketchum. RBIs number 34 and 35 for him. And the game has indeed been broken open. 5-0 St. Francis leads. Still nobody out. That brings up Sam Tumulty with runners at first and second, and now a 5-run St. Francis lead. Sam Tumulty is 1 for 2 with a single. He bunts back to the pitcher. This time a bobble and no play for Cunningham. I was about to say this time he's rushing it a little bit more, and maybe rushed it a little bit too much. So the bunt single from just moments ago perhaps got in Cunningham's head and caused him to commit an error. Tumulty is aboard. The speed of Sam Tumulty forced that bobble from Cunningham. Looks like they'll give him a hit for it. Bases loaded again. Still nobody out. 5-0 St. Francis. Jonathan Wolf, the number 8 batter, is the 6th man to hit this inning. Wolf takes a ball in the dirt. We've talked about it all game. Gage Cunningham has not been great in this game. He's hit a lot of batters, but he hasn't been hit hard. Here in this inning, he's given up 2 runs. He's got a bases loaded spot right now. He has not recorded an out. But there have been only 3 hits, and 2 of them have been on bunts. St. Francis as a team still does not have an extra base hit in this game, but they have had a steady parade of base runners. 16 of them through 4+ innings. Jonathan Wolf was one of those base runners. He's 1 for 2 in the game, singled in the second before grounding out in third. He hits a chopper down the third base line, a foul ball, and that goes for strike one. The count is 1-1. Tumulty at first, Ketchum at second, Tumulty at third. That's Scott at third, Sam at first. Wolf trying to bring him in. Pops it up behind home plate, over the net, and into the seats. It's 1-2. There is a right-hander throwing in the bullpen right now for Lincon. And we've got another hit by pitch. Jonathan Wolf forces in a run as he is hit by Gage Cunningham, the 7th hit by pitch of the game. First time it's been Jonathan Wolf. He picks up an RBI. Wolf now has 9 runs batted in this season. 6-0 our score. Here's Jake Vera. Sam Tumulty advances to second. Ketchum to third. Scott Tumulty scores. Vera swings, and it's a high drive out to deep right field. Back towards the wall. It's a grand slam. Vera picks up the Saints' first extra base hit of the game, and it's a big one, bringing home Wolf, Tumulty, and Ketchum in front of him. And the Saints have officially broken this game wide open. It's 10-0. First pitch swinging. Jake Vera drives his first hit of the season over the wall. He has RBIs number 18, 19, 20, and with himself 21. And I think that may be the end of the day for Gage Cunningham, who wasn't great, but he worked his way through the first 4 innings with minimal damage. And in the 5th, things have fallen completely apart. 7 consecutive men have reached base. And the bases are now empty. Nobody out. A fresh start for the new man coming in. I'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. I'll step aside here. 10-0. Saints lead in the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th inning, nobody out, nobody on base. Already 7 runs are in this inning for St. Francis. And they'll face a new pitcher now at the top of the order. Noah Carraro stepping to the plate against freshman right-hander Sebastian Pochin, who makes his 8th appearance this season. No record and 10.8 ERA. His first pitch hits the outside corner on Noah Carraro for strike 1. In 11 2/3 innings this season, Pochin has allowed 20 runs, 14 of them earned on 23 hits. 8 walks, hasn't struck anybody out just yet. The 0-1 drops out of the zone. That evens the count at 1. It was a Jake Vera grand slam that brought home 4 runs, obviously, and chased Gage Cunningham from the game. Chopper foul left side. It's 1-2. This inning started with a hit by pitch, a walk, then a bunt single, an RBI single, another bunt base hit, a hit by pitch, and a home run. That was all she wrote for Cunningham. Ball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-2. Noah Carraro has been hit by 2 pitches today and walked once. He takes ball 3 here, full count. Trying to work his way on base for the 4th time in just 5 innings played this afternoon. He fouls it back off the screen, still 3-2. He's had some long at-bats today. This is just another one. Final numbers on Gage Cunningham. He went 4 innings and allowed 10 runs, all of them earned. Struck out 2, walked 2. There's ball 4. Carraro is on base for the 4th time today. His second walk, he's been hit by 2 pitches and has not had to swing the bat once, but constantly finds his way down to first. Nobody out here. It's John McGuire's turn. For all the offense in this game for St. Francis, McGuire has had a rough time of it. 0 for 2 with 2 double plays. He's the only man not to have reached base yet as he takes a strike over the inside corner, which might be underplaying it a little bit. He's the only one not to have reached base this inning, and it's his first at bat of the inning. 8 straight men have reached to begin the bottom of the 5th. Throw to first base, chases Carraro back to the bag. 0-1. Hard grounder, foul just past third base. Strike 2. RBIs this inning belong to Luke Ketchum, who had a 2-run single, Jonathan Wolf, who was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and Jake Vera, who hit the 4-run homer out to right field. First pitch of that at bat. 0-2 on McGuire, who had a sacrifice bunt in his first at bat, but first to toss over to first base to check on Noah Carraro, who has 11 stolen bases this season, which ranks 2nd on the team. Tied for 2nd on the team. Actually, he was tied for the lead on the team coming in, but Eric Maffey has swiped 2 in this game. McGuire hits a grounder to short. Flipped over to 2nd for 1. Eisenbrod to first, and that's in time for a double play. 2 down, 6-4-3. And McGuire has now grounded into 3 double plays in the game. 4-6-3 in the 2nd, 5-4-3 in the 4th, and 6-4-3 here in the 5th. So 2 down, base is empty. And McGuire, who's been swinging the bat so well, just another example of baseball being a weird sport. You could be a hot hitter going up against a struggling pitcher and hitting the 3 double plays. Ball 1 outside on Eric Maffey, who led off this inning by getting hit by a pitch. John McGuire had only grounded into 2 double plays all season coming in. As a team, the Saints had only hit into 9. Check swing Tapper back to the mound. Bobbled by Pochin, but he pulls it in and throws to first to retire the side. So he does his job. After coming in for Cunningham, he sets him down essentially in order. And we'll head into the 6th. The Saints now nursing a huge lead. It's 10-0. We've made it into the 6th inning here in Game 1 of a doubleheader between St. Francis and Lincon. Lincon trailed by just 3 runs the last time they were at bat. Now they're down by 10. Ryan Daly's first pitch is called strike 1 on the number 2 batter, Grant Stansberry. Stansberry is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. He bats for the 3rd time against Daly, who got a good long rest before reclaiming the mound for the 6th inning. Fouled back, strike 2. Daly's been awfully good today. Obviously, no runs through 5 innings is always good, no matter how you get to that point. He's allowed only 3 hits, 1 walk. Ball in the dirt, 1-2. He faced his biggest trouble in the 5th inning. Lincon put runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, but he pitched out of it, and then his offense backed him up with 7 runs in the bottom half of the frame. 1-2 to Stansberry. Misses high, 2-2. Daly is throwing to a new catcher this inning. That's Liam Higgins behind the plate, replacing Jake Lasota. So Higgins presumably will bat first next inning. Fouled away, still 2-2. And a new shortstop as well. Alex Milcars is out there at short. I believe those are the only 2 changes. Breaking ball inside. The count goes full. Those are the only 2 that I saw pointed out. So that's what I'm going with for now. If any other new defensive players are out there that I missed, I'll mention it when I see it. Ground ball to the left side. An early chance for Milcars, who makes a sliding stop in the hole. Long throw to first. Not in time. Good play by Alex Milcars, but Stansberry was able to beat it out anyway. And a leadoff single for Lincon is their 4th hit of the game. First time all ball game that they've had their leadoff man reach. That brings up Josh Tarlin. Tarlin is 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th inning, lined out to short in the 1st. First pitch to Tarlin is taken for ball 1. Daly from the stretch gets Tarlin to pop one foul and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. The sun is covering the field again. It's been kind of in and out. They need it right now as it's fouled back 1-2. Just a big difference when that sun is shining feels-wise on the field compared to when the cloud is covering it. Temperatures in the 40s, so significantly cooler than the average for this time of year. There's a foul ball, or strike 3 swinging. It's not tipped, so the runner advances. Stansberry was running with the pitch, so even though that ball got away from Higgins, it is a stolen base, and Tarlin, because first base was occupied, is not able to take first base. So he did not tip it. It's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Tarlin is out number 1 in the 6th. And the 8th strikeout victim of the game for Ryan Daly. Here's Lucas Harmon with a runner at 2nd base and 1 out. Harmon takes a strike over the outside corner. This marks the 4th consecutive inning that Lincon has gotten a man at least as far as 2nd base. In the 5th, they had their only runner reach 3rd base. Ball outside, 1-1 on Harmon. Lucas Harmon today is 0 for 2 with a fly out to center field and a ground out to the pitcher. This is his 2nd chance to bat with a man on. He hits it high in the air out to right field, playable for Tumulty, who circles it, gets under it, and makes the catch. The runner at 2nd base tags, but elects not to try to advance. Harmon is out number 2. Stansberry still at 2nd. And the last hope for Lincon in the 6th is Drake Davidson. This Lynx team is down to its final 4 outs. Davidson is 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the 2nd, grounded out to 3rd base in the 4th. He takes strike 1 over the outside corner. Ryan Daly retired the first 7 batters he faced. He has not had a 1-2-3 inning since those first 2. But still in total control here. And fighting for the shutout as he misses for ball 1. His pitch count is still pretty low. So no reason to think he shouldn't have a chance at his second complete game of the year. 1-1 pitch. Outside. 2-1. There's some light throwing going on down the right field line in that St. Francis bullpen, but it is just light throwing for right now. 2-1. Hard liner right at John McGuire. The second baseman makes the grab. Nothing's going Lincoln's way right now. Even when they do make good contact, it's right to somebody. Davidson lines out to end the 6th inning. Stansberry is stranded at second. 4th straight inning that Lincon leaves a man in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. St. Francis 10, Lincon nothing. Nothing St. Francis over Lincon. We're into the bottom of the 6th inning. One last chance for the Saints to add to their runs total. Liam Higgins leads off the 6th inning for St. Francis at the plate and takes ball 1 from a new pitcher for Lincon. It's the left fielder Dylan Elders who moves onto the mound. Sebastian Pochin, who pitched the last inning, has switched spots with Elders. He's out in left. Higgins loops it out to center field, a base hit. Soft line drive single for Higgins, the 9th hit of the game for St. Francis. And they've got their leadoff man on for the 2nd consecutive inning and the 5th time in 6 innings overall today. Liam Higgins picks up just his 3rd hit in 21 at-bats this season. And it brings up a pinch hitter. Sean Mahalik comes up in the DH spot in place of Scott Tumulty. So Mahalik gets a chance to hit here. .250 on the season. He's 1 for 4. So Elders faces Mahalik. I'll give you the numbers on Dylan Elders in just a moment. First, the pitch to Mahalik. Strike 1 called. Dylan Elders is pitching for the 7th time this year. It's his 6th relief outing. He's 0-1 with a 23-28 ERA. In 9 2/3 innings, he's allowed 31 runs on 25 of them earned on 28 hits, 12 walks, 5 strikeouts. He gets a swing and a miss from Mahalik. And the count goes to 0-2. Liam Higgins singled to begin the inning. Nobody out as Elders goes into the set position for the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Mahalik chases upstairs for strike 3. And there's the first out of the inning. Third strikeout of the game for the St. Francis offense. Dylan Elders picks up his 6th K of the year. And now John Peterson will hit for Luke Ketchum. Ketchum had a 2-run single last inning. He went 1 for 2 in this game, and now it's Peterson's first turn to hit. Peterson has already scored a run. In fact, he scored 2 runs in this game as a replacement for Jake Lasota. He swings at the first pitch here and hits it high in the air out to left center field. Playable for Drake Davidson. Davidson scooches over and makes the catch. 2 away. Let's see who we'll get here. Looks like another pinch hitter. Gio Pappas, by the way, is in at first base right now. He's the pinch runner for Liam Higgins, now that John Peterson's being used as a batter. So Dallas Matlock will get a chance to hit in Sam Tumulty's spot in the order. 3 straight pinch batters this inning. Matlock the most recent of them. A right-handed batter with a red bat takes ball 1 high. Dallas Matlock is getting a rare chance to hit. So far this season, he's had 8 at-bats. He's 2 for 8. 250 hitter like Sean Mahalik before him. Ball in the dirt, 2-0. Looks like another pinch batter potentially on deck. It'll be Quinn McGuire if we get to that spot in the batting order. Jonathan Wolf is the scheduled next hitter. 2-0. Matlock takes up and in. 3 balls and no strikes. Higgins reached on a leadoff single, but his pinch runner Gio Pappas has been over at first base ever since. They've not been able to advance him as Mahalik struck out and Peterson flew out. 3-0. Inside corner, strike 1. Game 2 of this doubleheader is coming up after this one. The Saints are just 3 outs away from wrapping up a Game 1 victory. Trying to add a few more to their runs total first, though. 3-1 pitch has popped up into foul ground behind home plate and out of play about 3 rows up. Makes the count full, 3-2. Matlock trying to keep this inning and this scoring chance alive. This is just his 9th at bat of the season. He does have a couple of RBIs. 3-2 pitch, grounded weakly up the middle. Charging it is the shortstop Tarlin. His throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Leadoff single goes nowhere for St. Francis. They leave him at first base. We go to the 7th. Last chance coming up for the Lynx. They trail the Saints 10-0. 10-0 St. Francis, top of the 7th. One last chance for Lincon to make a run at this thing against Ryan Daly. Daly fires ball 1 up high to begin the inning. The pitcher, well, I guess left fielder now, Sebastian Pochin, getting his first at bat of the game. Pochin pops it up, foul ground right side playable for Eric Maffey, who makes the catch, 1 away. Pochin came in to hit there because when he moved to left field last inning from the pitcher's mound, the Lynx lost their DH. So Pochin is 0 for 1. And that brings in Jarrett Rutledge.
First baseman, number 19.
Rutledge is 0 for 1 with a ground out. He's also walked once, and he takes a strike. The only man to walk against Daly today. Daly's only thrown 75 pitches. He's given up 4 hits, 3 of them singles and 1 double, 1 walk. Foul ball hit by Rutledge. It's 0-2. That one in on his hands, nearly hit his hands, but he was able to pull the bat back and it hit off the inside handle of the bat before deflecting away. It's a foul ball, and the count goes to 0-2. Daly looking for his 9th strikeout. It's fought off foul. Rutledge stays alive. Dominic Tenayuka is on deck. 10-0 St. Francis leads. They've out-hit Lincon 9-4. Neither team has committed an error. Another 0-2. Rutledge stays alive with another foul ball. Four straight have been retired by Daly. His best run of the game was when he began it by retiring the first 7 hitters consecutively. Daly is 2 outs away from his 2nd complete game of the year. This one would be a shutout and a 10-run victory for St. Francis. Just below the knees there, 1-2. Next pitch coming in. Low and away, ball 2. Good at bat here for Rutledge. Quickly fell behind 0-2, but he's kept this at bat alive. He'll see a 7th pitch from Daly. Lincon was down by just 3 runs 2 innings ago. They had the tying run at the plate with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. There's a tapper to the right side of the infield. It's a foul ball. We'll see another 2-2. That's incredible to think about. With 2 outs in the top of the 5th, they had the tying run at the plate, and now here with 1 out in the 7th, the game is effectively over. Daly was able to get Eigenbrod to ground out with those 2 men on base to end the 5th inning, and then in the bottom half of the frame, the Saints bats blew up Gage Cunningham for 7 runs, extending their lead to 10. One hopper right back to the mound. Daly tosses over to first, 2 down. Last chance for Lincon is Dominic Tenayuka, who is 1 for 2. Had the first hit of the game for the Lynx with a 3rd inning single, but he struck out his last time up. 8 strikeouts in the game for Daly. He's allowed just 4 hits in 6 2/3 shutout innings. Now trying to finish it off. Tenayuka swings and misses, strike 1. Daly hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning since the 2nd. He'd like to finish with one right here. Swing and a miss. He's 1 strike away. The count is 0-2. If Tenayuka reaches, Dylan Elders, the pitcher, will bat next. Daly trying to avoid that scenario. His 0-2 offering, up and in, ball 1. This is the 2nd consecutive hitter that he has gotten ahead of, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball up the middle and out to center field. 2nd hit of the ball game for Dominic Tenayuka, and he keeps the Lynx hopes alive here with a 2-out base hit. Dylan Elders will get another chance. That was the 2nd straight 1-2 count. What I meant was that, and that was true, but it was the 2nd straight 0-2 count. But both times, the Lincon hitters were able to keep at bats going and not succumb to Daly after falling behind 0-2. Here's Elders for the 3rd time today. He takes ball 1 inside. Dylan Elders is 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. He's the pitcher right now. Came on from left field to throw the 6th and pitched it scoreless. He takes a ball low and in, 2-0. Daly sets for the next one. Dylan Elders hits a hard one-hopper to Maffey, who makes a beautiful pick. Eric Maffey carries it to the bag, and there's your ball game. St. Francis wins it 10-0. Ryan Daly finishes off the 7-inning complete game shutout. Nice play by Maffey to wrap it up. He was a big part of the offense today as well, as he scored 2 runs and drove 1 in. The biggest hit belonged to Jake Vera, the grand slam in the 5th, as St. Francis romps to their 2nd consecutive double-digit victory over Lincon. They beat them by 16 yesterday. A 10-run win in Game 1 today. They'll try to do it one more time with Game 2 coming up in just a few moments. Again, our final score, 10-0. St. Francis defeats Lincon. Let's go quickly over the scoring here. It began in the 1st inning for St. Francis. Noah Carraro was hit by a pitch, bunted to 2nd, moved to 3rd on a wild pitch, and scored on an Eric Maffey sacrifice fly. So it was 1-0 without the Saints securing a single hit. They added to the lead with 2 runs in the 3rd. Scott Tumulty had an RBI single. Jake Lasota brought home a run on a dropped 3rd strike. When the ball got away from the catcher, Eric Maffey was able to score all the way from 2nd base. So it was 3-0 in the 3rd. It was 3-0 still in the 5th inning when Lincon put runners at 2nd and 3rd base with 2 outs and looked like they were about to make this one a really tight ball game. Ryan Daly pitched out of it, getting Brendan Eigenbrod to ground out to end that inning, and then the Saints ran away for good in the 5th. Hit by pitch, walk, single, loaded the bases, and Luke Ketchum picked up a 2-run base hit. Later, Jonathan Wolf drove in a run by getting hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and Jake Vera followed just 1 pitch later with a grand slam that made it 10-0. That would be the final score. Our totals today: no runs, 5 hits, no errors for Lincon. 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors for St. Francis. The winning pitcher is Ryan Daly. He went the distance, a complete game shutout. He's 3-2 now for the season. The losing pitcher for Lincon, Gage Cunningham, who wasn't all that bad through 4 innings, fell apart in the 5th. Cunningham falls to 0-6 for this year. Overall record, St. Francis back to 500. They're 21-21, 17-6 in conference. Lincon falls to 1-25, now 1-15 in CCAC play. That'll do it for Game 1. I will step aside, but be back in about a half hour, around 3:15 or so. We'll have Game 2 of this doubleheader. St. Francis will try to make it a clean sweep over Lincon at that time. 10-0 our final score here in Game 1. Terry Bonadonna now signing off for the University of St. Francis. We'll talk very soon. Game 2 coming up.